Good afternoon, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, I'm going to proceed with the second part of chapter 6 on data design concepts, right? So, the second part of chapter 6 only involve less than 20 slides, okay? So, I do not think this video will take a longer time compared to the first part of the chapter 6, right? Okay, so in this part 2 session, okay, so in this part 2 session, we will only cover 2 subtopics, okay? So the first subtopic is about data storage and data access, while the second subtopic is about data control. So I think the items related to data control is things that you already familiar with. Okay, how are you going to protect your data? How are you going to protect access into the system? Most of the students will say that the most typical maksudnya the typical method to control the system, to secure our data is using the username and password. That is the most typical method. I think everybody should have the idea by now, okay? But let's look one by one, right? So we will look into the data storage first, and then after that we will look into the data control. Okay, so when it comes to the data storage, these 2 important items will usually pop up. Okay, so the first one is about data warehousing and the second one is about data mining. Okay, so as a diploma in computer science students, I'm sure you have came across the term of data warehousing and data mining, is it? But maybe you still have a very big idea about what are these 2 terms are about. Okay, pernah dengar, selalu dengar, tapi bila let's say I would like to ask you to care to explain, and then you macam okay, which is still blur. Okay, alright. So first, let's look into the data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse is actually an integrated collection of data that can include seemingly unrelated information no matter where it is stored in the company. Okay, itu memang ayat daripada textbook. Alright. To make it simple, to make it clear cut. Okay, contoh macam ni. Let's say this hypermarket. Okay, hypermarket XYZ. Right? So this hypermarket, dia ada cawangan bukan sahaja di Malaysia tetapi di luar negara juga. Okay, so maybe this hypermarket have cawangan di Malaysia, di Brunei, di Singapore, di Thailand, di Vietnam dan banyak lagi lah. Okay, and then bila when this hypermarket dia ada banyak cawangan, we can imagine akan ada banyak data yang perlu disimpan, betul kan? Okay, so dia nak simpan di bawah satu bumbung. Okay, so bila dia nak simpan dekat bawah satu bumbung, alright, itulah yang kita panggil sebagai data warehouse. Okay, bermaksud data warehouse ni is your intention ataupun the method to keep the data yang bukan sahaja berada di Malaysia. Data tu berada dekat luar negara juga, tapi kita nak simpan dia setempat. Okay. So, dekat sebelah kanan ni, alright, I have prepared a YouTube videos, okay, yang mana you can watch it, okay, later. This one is I extract from the online sources, okay, so should be tak ada masalah untuk awak nak view. Alright, so it tells about the introduction of data warehousing. Okay, so that's why they mention it provides the enterprise view to support the management analysis and decision making. Okay, it can link various information system and database. Okay, so if we play,
So what exactly is the data
Right.
warehouse now?
dia adalah. Okay, so
Let
it
me
is
first
the central
Take a simple
location.
English language example. What is a warehouse? A warehouse is a place where
Okay, so I will leave the video to you. Okay, if you can view during your free time.
some
Okay, alright. So because of data warehouse typically spans the entire enterprise, alright, many firms prefer to use data mart, which is designed to serve the needs of a specific departments only, such as sales, marketing, or finance. Okay, because bila kita ada data warehouse tu dia macam yang saya bagi tahu lah tadi kan, because of dia menyimpan terlalu banyak data. Bukan sahaja data the hypermarket di Malaysia, tetapi data about the hypermarket dekat overseas. Okay, because of dia ada terlalu banyak lambakan data, some companies tidak prefer cara data warehouse. Dia lebih prefer cara data mart. Okay, yang mana cara data mart ini ialah dia akan simpan data yang relates to that particular department sahaja. Okay, so jadi in terms of the storage tu, dia lebih kecil compared to the data warehouse. Right? Okay, so there are pro and cons to both approaches, and the best solution usually depends on the specific situation. Okay, because of kita tak boleh nak cakap, alright, the data warehouse will always be the best solution. Kita tak boleh nak mention macam tu. So we have to look into the criteria of that particular company. Kalau company itu prefer data mart, then they prefer data mart lah. Kalau company itu lebih prefer data warehouse, then we will go for the option of data warehouse. Okay, the next part is on the data mining. Okay, so data mining is usually the software that looks for meaningful data patterns and relationship. Okay, so kalau kita tengok data mining ni pula selalunya dia nak melihat kepada kaitan. Dia nak melihat kepada pattern. Sebab tu kalau misal kata dekat overseas, okay, hypermarket dekat overseas, according to the data mining, according to the consumer patterns, alright, consumer yang membeli pampers budak akan membeli liquor dalam masa yang sama. Itu ialah pattern yang dia dapat tengok. Okay, yang dia dapat tengok dalam when they did the data mining. Alright. So, bila dia melihat kepada that particular patterns, right? Bila dia melihat kepada that particular patterns, bila kata hypermarket itu dia buat dia punya susunan barang-barang dia, they will place the kids pampers itu berdekatan dengan the liquor. Sebab itu merupakan trends ataupun patterns yang dia dah nampak semasa dia buat analisis data mining. Okay, so if you look into sources from the from the YouTube channel, okay, dia ada dekat sini satu video about data mining.
Hey everyone, welcome to Learnovate. Today in this video, we will learn about data mining. What is data mining? A technology to enable data exploration, data analysis and data visualization of very large databases at a high level of abstraction. What is the purpose of data mining? Data mining helps analysts to recognize significant facts, relationships, trends, patterns which might go unnoticed otherwise. Why data mining is needed? Too much data and too little information. There is a need to extract useful information from the data and to interpret the data. What are the data mining tools? Oracle Data Mining, Orange, IBM, Teradata, RapidMiner. Where data mining is applicable. In banks, data mining is used for fraud detection. By analyzing past transactions that were later determined to be fraudulent, banks can identify patterns. Card marketing. By identifying customers, segment card issuers, and improved profitability with more effective acquisition. Cardholder and profitability. Card issuers can take advantage of data mining technology to price their product and maximize their profit. Predictive lifecycle management. Data mining help bank to predict each customer's lifetime value and to provide service to each segment. In telecommunication, data mining is used for call detail record analysis by
Okay, so I think you can have the sources from the YouTube later on, okay, in order for you to get the idea of the difference between the data warehouse and the data mining. Senang je. Okay, senang je. Ingat yang mana? Okay, so just have the brief idea yang mana kalau misal kata data warehouse tu memang kita letakkan everything setempat. Okay, dan dia akan berlaku lambakan data lah. Okay, but data mining dia lebih kepada kita nak mencari the patterns, the relationship. Untuk kita nak, kalau macam contoh dekat YouTube tu, untuk nak mengesan credit card fraud, untuk nak mencari apa orang kata, the consumer trends, the consumer way of shopping. Okay, so itu the difference between data mining and also data warehouse. Okay, next we will go into the physical and physical and logical storage. Okay, kalau physical storage dia lebih kepada you keep all your data dekat awak punya hard drive, dekat awak punya CD-ROM. Okay, so that's why they mention dekat sini. When it comes to physical storage, awak simpan data awak dekat physical media yang kita boleh sentuh, yang kita boleh pegang. Your pen drive, your external hard disk, itu ialah things that you can touch. So when you keep all your data in your external hard disk, in your pen drive, itu bermaksud you are doing the physical storage. Tetapi when it comes to logical storage ni, the idea tu macam awak simpan data dekat dalam cloud storage. Can you touch the cloud storage? Awak tak tahu kan? You don't even know cloud storage tu berada di mana. Is it in Malaysia? Is it in overseas? Is it in Japan? Is it in US? You do not know. Tapi awak boleh access. Awak boleh simpan data. Awak boleh extract the data. Awak boleh delete. Awak boleh... you can do everything. Cumanya ianya berada di cloud. Okey, jadi bila dia berada dekat cloud, itu kita panggil sebagai logical storage. Kenapa kita panggil sebagai logical storage? Because we do not know where the storage tu actually located. Dekat mana sebenarnya? Apa orang kata the location of that cloud storage kita tak tahu. That's why kita panggil sebagai logical storage. Okay. And then usually for logical storage, we are going to have the logical record. Okay, it is a set of field values that describes a single person, place, things, or even the event. Okay, so for example, we have the logical customer record contains the specific field values for a single customer, including the customer number, name, address, telephone number, credit card, and so on. Okay. Right. The next part is on the data coding. Okay, data coding. I do not think you have a problem with data coding. Okay, because when it comes to data coding, for the computers, it will be represented as bits or the binary digits. So it only has two possible values, 1 or 0. Okay, so the computer understands a group of bits as a digital code that can be transmitted, received, and also stored. The computers use various data coding and storage schemes such as ABCDIC, ASCII, and also the binary. And we also have the Unicode as the more recent coding standard. Okay, and Unicode is also becoming popular. Okay, so this is the explanation for the data coding, alright? The EBCDIC, it is usually used for the mainframe computers, okay, mainframe computers, and also the high capacity servers, okay, requires 8 bits or 1 byte for each character, okay. Whereas for the ASCII, okay, I'm sure you already familiar with ASCII because you have been exposed with the ASCII codes seawal masa awak part 1, okay. Yang mana dia ada specific values, kan? So if you look into the ASCII table, okay, kalau awak tengok kepada awak punya ASCII table, you akan ada specific values. For example, kalau misalkan huruf A besar, mungkin dia punya nilai ialah, I can't remember, maybe 91 ke 92. Okay, something like that lah. Okay, so the ASCII table, the ASCII value has certain values. Alright. And then we have the binary. Okay, it is the binary storage format, offers a more efficient storage method. And then, for example, the integer format uses only 16 bits or 2 bytes to represent the number 12.345 in binary form. Okay, so I think you already knew the concept of binary since you already learned computer organization. Okay, ada banyak what we call it, conversion. Okay, conversion daripada decimal pergi kepada binary. Okay, and then we have the Unicode. Okay, so for a computer to be able to store text and numbers that humans can understand, there need to be a code that transforms the characters into the numbers. The Unicode standard defines such a code by using the character encoding. So usually Unicode digunakan for the security reasons. Okay, kalau kita tengok di links, okay, kita punya links untuk kita punya website tu kita pakai Unicode. So perasan tak bila dekat links tu kadang-kadang kita ada www.abc.com, lepas tu dia akan ada X. Lepas tu dia adalah plus, Y, and then mungkin dia ada macam ni, Z. So this is the example of Unicode. Maksudnya for security reason, dia akan ada transformation of characters. So that orang ataupun intruders itu tidak mudah untuk nak hack into that particular web pages. Macam tu. Okay. How about the dates? So what is the best way to store dates? Tarikh. Okay. So the answer depends on how the dates will be displayed and whether they will be used in the calculation. Okay. So ever since the Y2K issues, most date formats now are based on the model established by the International Organization for Standardization, which requires a format of 4 digits for the year, 2 for the month, and 2 for the day. Ini ialah dia punya format. Okay, so do you remember about the Y2K issues? Ingat tak? Do you still remember or do you still aware about the Y2K issues? Y2K issues ni berlaku apabila kita memasuki tahun 2000. So bila tahun 2000 kan 2000. Dekat sini dia 00. So kalau macam kita 2001, kita adalah numbers dekat sini kan. 2021 pun kita ada numbers. Tetapi bila dia 2000, dia ada Y2K issues because of dia punya belakang dia tu is all zeros. So kita susah untuk nak identify the actual dates because of the digit zero. Okay, so that's why due to this Y2K issues comes the ISO punya standardization. So now kita punya standardization, kita akan ada 4 digits untuk tahun, 2 digit untuk bulan dan 2 digit untuk hari. And that is why when you develop a system, okay, bila awak develop satu sistem, I won't recommend you untuk menggunakan text box untuk insert tarikh. It would be better for you to use calendar. Sebab when you use the calendar, you will have the format dah already dalam ISO standardization. Okay, so as a good system analyst, as a good programmer, how you store the dates itu sepatutnya awak dah tahu. Awak tak boleh gunakan text field. Mesti guna calendar. Alright? And what if the dates must be used in calculation? For example, if a manufacturing order placed on June 23rd takes 3 weeks to complete, when will the order be ready? Okay, so maksudnya awak nak menggunakan tarikh tu untuk calculation. Awak nak forecast. Awak nak tahu 3 minggu daripada 23 Jun tu hari apa. That is the part yang mana kita akan menggunakan kaedah absolute dates. Okay? So, absolute date is the total number of days from some specific base date. To calculate the number of days between two absolute dates, you subtract one date from another. Okay, dia bagi contoh dekat sini. Sekiranya the base date is 1st January 1900, okay, then September 27, 2013 has an absolute value of 41554. Okay, so similarly, July 13, 2012 has an absolute date of 41103. So if you subtract the earlier date value of the later one, the results akan menjadi 441 days. Dia menggunakan absolute dates. Okay, right. The last subtopic under Chapter 6 is about data control. Okay. So, data control ni, ialah kita nak ensure the security. Alright? The security, not only the security, but we want to ensure the correctness and also the completeness of the database control. Alright? So, selalunya dia akan ada built-in control and security features. For example, kita ada subschema. Ingat lagi tak subschema apa? Subschema tu contohnya macam kita dah tetapkan dia punya roles. For example, untuk awak nak register subjek. Okay, awak nak register subjek bila role awak sebagai student, your sub-schema sebagai student. Okay, setelah melepasi certain tarikh, awak dah tak boleh nak tukar kelas. Okay, awak kena minta permission daripada your academic advisor. So, awak punya academic advisor is another sub-schema, is another role. So, role awak dah tak boleh nak edit, tetapi awak punya academic advisor boleh edit. Okay. And then, role KPP pula berbeza. Role KPP, dia punya sub-schema dia berbeza. Dia boleh besarkan kelas, dia boleh kecilkan bilangan student dalam satu-satu kelas. Okay, so itu ialah sub-schema. Mungkin dah tak ingat sebab sub-schema berada di dalam video explanation part A dalam chapter 6 and the explanation of that part sebelum cuti gawai. Now kita dah seminggu, mungkin dah lupa. Right? And then we have the password. Ini biasalah. We have the encryption. Encryption kita boleh pakai Unicode tadi untuk kita nak encrypt. Audit trail files. Okay, maksudnya kita ada macam buku log. Okay, so tarikh bila, pukul berapa, siapa yang get access into the system. Tarikh bila, pukul berapa, siapa yang view dia data. Okay, so itu ialah about the audit trail files. And then we have the backup and recovery. Okay. So, users usually furnish a proper user ID and password. That's why now kita dah ada method to make the user ID and password stronger. Yang mana ada juga sistem yang meletakkan bukan sekadar user ID and password sahaja, tetapi meletakkan juga CAPTCHA to make the security stronger. Ada juga yang meletakkan I am not a robot. Okay, so dan ada juga yang ada satu recommendation. Okay, macam mana nak pilih password tu? Kena ada one symbol, kena ada one capital letters, kena ada numbers, kena ada okay, so dia ada dah kriteria-kriteria untuk menjadikan the features of user ID and password ini lebih kuat. Okay, and then we also have the permission. Okay, means dia ada different privilege. Student tak boleh delete. Yang boleh delete hanyalah lecturer, contoh. Okay, and also the encryption. Alright, okay, so ni backup regularly, and then we have the recovery procedures. Okay, yang lain ni I think tak ada masalah yang besar lah. Okay, so this is the second case study. The first case study was in the first half of the video. Okay, so ini ialah contoh soalan yang ada dekat dalam teks. Okay, the question provides you with a case study. Okay, and then based on the case study, dia minta awak untuk design satu code scheme. Okay, that will meet the marketing manager's stated requirements. Sebab dia ada dekat sini. Okay, this multi-store dia ada 250 different product. Okay, so ada possibility untuk nak menambah lagi bilangan kasut pada masa akan datang. Kasut-kasut itu akan ada various sizes, various styles and also various colours. Okay, so kalau misal kata kita nak buat satu produk code, macam mana kita nak buat produk code tu? Apa types of coding yang sesuai lah. Okay, so that's why dia kata dekat sini suggest a code scheme, right? That will identify each specific order. So I think that would be all for chapter 6. Inshallah, we are going to meet again in chapter 7. So we will look into the situation first. Either we need to have the live session or we can just proceed with the video. So kita akan tengok pada keadaan. So as for now, thank you very much for lending me your ears. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.